Welcome to China Watch. There are claims online that China's economy faces 7 black swans. After counting, I found there are far more than just 7. It's more like a flock of black swans flocking to China.
China's economic prospects remain bleak. Despite Beijing's hopeful introduction of various economic stimulus measures, particularly in injecting substantial funds into the real estate market to resolve the long-standing property crisis, the effects have been minimal. Maybe things will improve over time, but recent data suggests no good news has emerged yet, and it seems unlikely in the short term.
First, the biggest black swan is the long-term decline in the real estate sector. The problems in the real estate sector are one of the roots of China's economic troubles and the focus of Beijing's latest stimulus efforts.
The issues began with the collapse of large property developers in 2021. The government ignored the sector's problems until late last year, when it finally introduced a plan to address the impact of excess housing on real estate values and encourage more household interest in buying. As part of this plan, the People's Bank of China cut interest rates, but the effect has been limited. Beijing removed the long-standing interest rate minimums on mortgages and introduced special provisions to encourage banks to lend more to homebuyers. Recently, the central government raised about 1 trillion yuan, approximately $140 billion, part of which was used to buy vacant properties. However, the real estate market continues to decline. Home sales for the first 5 months of this year were 30.5% lower than in the same period last year. New home prices have also continued to fall. In May, residential real estate prices in major Chinese cities were 4.3% below May 2023 levels, an acceleration from the 3.5% decline recorded for April.
Second, consumer spending in China remains sluggish. Continued declines in housing prices make most Chinese people more cautious about spending, as most of their wealth is tied up in their homes.
Retail sales in May were 3.7% higher than in May last year, a stronger showing than April's 2.3% gain, but still well below Beijing's 5% real growth target for the year. At the same time, private businesses in China remain highly reluctant to invest in expansion or modernization, or hire new workers for that matter.
Third, China's dominance in manufacturing is starting to reverse. Manufacturing has held the top global position for over a decade, but this advantage is slowly reversing.
Industrial production in May this year was 5.6% higher than the same period last year. But this surge primarily reflects Beijing's push to create new high-tech production abilities. Still, since production already exceeds domestic demand, there are concerns about where these products will be sold. Both the United States and the European Union have placed tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles and otherwise shown hostility to China trade. Even in this special area, there are signs of a slowdown. May's gain was significantly below April's figure of 6.7%. Overall, one of the serious problems China is facing is the decline in manufacturing and manufacturing employment. In Zhejiang province, for example, manufacturing jobs decreased by 160,000 last year.
Fourth, there is a continuous decline in foreign investment in China. China has long counted on foreign investment to advance its technological strength and economic dynamism.
In the first 5 months of this year, Beijing's National Bureau of Statistics noted that foreign direct investment into China amounted to 412.5 billion yuan, about $568 million. That is some 30% below the level of such flows during this time last year. What is more, these latest figures show a faster rate of decline in the 12th consecutive month of declining direct foreign investment into China. For the past 20 years, China has attracted large amounts of foreign investment to boost its economy, but this trend has long since reversed.
Fifth, the employment situation remains grim. Apart from massive unemployment, the number of fresh graduates in China in 2024 is expected to reach a record high of 11.79 million. Every year, the biggest challenge faced by Chinese university graduates is employment.
The number of fresh graduates increases year by year, and the supply-demand imbalance in the talent market has led to a tougher employment environment. Even in industries such as computing and the internet, which everyone dreams of, the job market is tight. Graduating means unemployment for many young people.
Sixth, an aging society has arrived. China currently has over 200 million elderly people, with 80 million receiving retirement salary and 120 million receiving basic pension benefits.
It is becoming increasingly difficult for China to pay even the most basic pensions to these elderly people. According to the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, the National Urban Employee Basic Pension Insurance Fund will be exhausted by 2035.
7th, China has at least 70 million government employees, accounting for more than 50% of the world's total, and this number is still increasing. This team is so large that the government does not dare to count them. It is becoming increasingly difficult for China to sustain the 70 million government employees.
Based on data from the National Bureau of Statistics, in 2021, the annual average salary of employees in enterprises above a certain scale nationwide was 88,115 yuan. Based on this, we can calculate that the annual salary of government employees amounts to about 7.04 trillion yuan, approximately 40% of tax revenue.
8th, a long-standing black swan is the stability maintenance expenses spent by the Beijing authorities every year. These include the salaries and administrative expenses of personnel such as the Political and Legal Affairs Commission, the 610 Office, an organization specifically persecuting Falun Gong practitioners, and armed police.
The stability maintenance expenses have averaged 600 billion yuan per year since 2000, amounting to at least 15 trillion yuan so far, and in some years have exceeded military expenditure. According to a blue book by the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, China experiences tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of mass incidents every year, all requiring stability maintenance expenses. The costliest is the stability maintenance fee for Falun Gong, estimated by insiders to exceed the cost of war. As long as the Falun Gong issue is unresolved, China's stability maintenance costs will not decrease. Related research institutions estimate that China's stability maintenance costs reached 1.3 trillion yuan in 2019 and around 1.4 trillion yuan in 2023. Officials might tell their superiors that the recently implemented policies will take effect over time. Xi Jinping and other leaders want to believe this. It might even be true, but the data so far says that such hope is still distant at best. Meanwhile, the authorities will face a dispirited Chinese public and business community.
There are many more black swans that cannot be listed here. We will discuss them in the future. I sincerely hope everyone can clearly see the economic situation and development trends in China, avoid illusions, and refrain from investing in China carelessly.